I tried to scarf down my eggs right before we got started, but there's some still in my windpipe. Why are you shaking your head like that?
I'm banged up, dude.
Oh,
I don't drink anymore, like at all. That's probably the first night I drank in like a month. I'm not even joking. I didn't even drink much for the Super Bowl. Wait, I've been slacking.
When were we in Atlanta?
That's the last time I drank.
No fucking way.
Yeah, swear to God.
Dude, that's actually pretty impressive. You, for what it's worth, you've never been like the biggest drinker to begin with. I feel like you've always been like a tequila guy.
I like drinking with my friends and getting like social drinking, I think they call it. Like I like getting hammered with the boys. Do I actually enjoy drinking? Not at all.
Yeah. I'm a big social drinker, but I love a beer or two at home. And that's been a big challenge for me to try to cut back on. I mean, for example, last night, I cooked dinner and I wanted a fucking Kona Big Wave that was just sitting there in my mom's fridge while I'm cooking some ground beef. And it took me about a solid 3 minutes to fight the urge.
To be fair, Kona Big Waves are delicious.
Oh, they're so good. You know what? I'm going to get one right now. We'll be right back. But no, so you had you had a few too many at the Magic game. What was your last? That was the last Magic game before the All-Star break. I watched the game and I can't tell you that I enjoyed much of it.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk too much about the Magic to get this stream started, but we do have a lot of time to kill, and we are going to have Snowman. Good morning, everybody. By the way, I see we got some sub banks coming in. Look at that. Wow. Jack Boy, new follow. What's up, Jack Boy? Ian 228488, 23 months, almost 2-year anniversary. Clam Mucker 3025 months. Happy 2-year and 1 month anniversary. And then RO Fit 26 months. You got to love that. A bunch of fucking OGs have been rocking with, what's the math on that, since 2023. The Degenerate stream. By the way, for the OGs, you know what, Steak? It just dawned on me as we did the intro. We need to up like the graphics, I think.
Is Snide here? Is our boy Snide here? He makes great.
I don't know if Snide's here, but I also, and I'll ask him about this. Style's really good at video editing and whatnot. But when we were doing that countdown, that 30-second countdown, as I realized it, I'm like, this looks so vintage and so old school. I think in 2025 we should probably do away with the projector black and white countdown, as if we're about to be a fucking, what's that, Barnacle whatever, those slapstick humor movies that were black and white, Barnacle Brothers, or what am I thinking of? No,
I don't know.
What am I thinking of? God damn it. There's like two brothers that were making movies. They were like slapstick.
Three Stooges?
No, Burnham and Bailey. Burnham and Bailey. Thank you.
I guess I'm probably going to get flamed. I've never heard of that in my life.
No, you won't get flamed for not knowing. I'll probably get flamed for calling it Barnacle something. Thank you, Snowman. You would. Barnacle Boys is from SpongeBob. Fun fact, I don't know that I've ever watched a full episode of SpongeBob. Have you?
I just want to say, yes, first of all. Second of all, I've tuned into Snowman shows recently. Don't you feel like he would almost know like a little bit about everything?
Yes.
Like I feel like Snowman could go on Jeopardy.
Yes, Snowman seems like the kind of guy that you would be if you were going head to head against him in trivia. You're fucked.
I would never. I would literally never.
Yeah, but you're good at trivia.
I would never fucking do that, dude. I'm telling you, he probably knows a little bit about every weird thing in the world.
Funny story about Steak and I when we were.
No fucking way. You were on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? No fucking way. I was on Family Feud, dude.
And you did great.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, so Snowman's going to come on after we shoot the shit and talk a little NBA. He's going to go through CBB with us. Thank you, Snowman, for joining. Wouldn't want to see Snowman at the trivia circle at Dave & Buster's, dude. Absolutely not, Barty Bart. Sam Stevens, 80-1. Shady B, we still need footage, Steak. Yeah, I know. That would be a fun.
I only can find like a video of me getting the number one answer in a face-off, and I will post it on Twitter if you want.
And I was there, by the way, live in the audience. That was awesome. I got to tell you, Steve Harvey's very funny.
Yeah, he is for sure. He was hitting on my sister all day.
Yeah, Steve. He's not on the cancel list, right? Like, can you still
like Steve Harvey? Yeah, dude. He had 6 suits.
Yes, he did. He had 6 suits. God, I'm fucking hot in here. I might have to turn the fan up in a second. No, but I was going to tell you a funny story. I don't even know if you remember this. It was the early days of working at the bar. And one of the best things about working at the bar, well, best and worst, because you don't get home till 4 or 5 in the morning. Bar closes at 2. You got to spend another hour and a half cleaning up and all that bullshit. But then you have some drinks, you have a good time, you fuck around. I started to realize how intelligent Steak was. Not that I ever thought you were stupid, but remember when you started rattling off? Was it either the presidents in chronological order, or it was like the periodic table?
No, it's presidents. I'm good with presidents, not doing it right now. No one asked me. And I'm good with state capitals or capitals of countries, but periodic table is not my thing.
Okay, then that must have been Squirt.
Periodic table sounds just like Squirt.
Damn, I thought that was you that rattled it off. But yeah, you're very good with president. State capital. All right, what's the capital of Rhode Island?
Providence. I don't want to do this. I'm so hungover. This is a nightmare. And Fat Girl's already in here fucking giving me shit.
Dude, Fat Girls is always the first to bitch. First thing I walk through the door and we already glazing steak. Fuck.
I think Fat Girls, because we're boys, me and Fat Girls, but I think he thinks I don't have enough haters. There's Squirt, dude.
I know.
Squirt.
Can you actually count fast?
So Fat Girls is like dedicated to being my hater, dude. That's what I think.
Yeah, I saw him say.
I know you love me, Fat Girls.
No, he said somebody was like, Fat Girls, what's wrong with you? And he's like, I just really, really don't like D-Gen, which I know he's joking.
Yeah,
but
it hurts your feelings. You can say it. Well, we're all just humans. We're all just humans.
Yeah, we're all humans. But also, where is that stemming from?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll get the weirdest chirps from people out of fucking nowhere. Even Corrupt Raider, who's our mod in Discord. Did you see he chirped me because I said I was going to post a squad pod every day like 8 months ago?
No, that was a good chirp. You're soft.
Hilarious. But where did it come from? Corrupt Raider rolls out of bed one day, is like, you know what? I'm just going to fuck with D-Gen every day. Skull.
You're really fun to chirp, dude.
I am?
Yes. It's fun to chirp you. You take it really well. I'll say that. But it's just fun.
You don't really have a choice. I think you take it really well too.
Yeah, I like being chirped. I only want friends that would chirp me.
Do you? Yeah, I know we're kind of the same in that nature. Did you get any chirps last night? Any new trolls? New enemies?
I'm not being that shy with the block button, but no. Yesterday was mediocre as fuck. I fucking hit a bunch of spreads that didn't hit the money line. The Hawks lost by 1. The Suns lost at the end of the game. The Bucks, thank God they won. That's probably what made
great call. Great call.
Yeah, you don't do that. There's no great calls. I think I lost like a half a unit overall. It was overall not very good.
No, but it's fair, I think, to at least acknowledge one particular bet. And I guess
I got drunk and bet like 9 underdogs.
I know
The
you were
Miami Heat. Can I bitch about the Miami Heat, dude?
Yeah, but hold on. Can I just tell you one thing?
Sure.
I'm giving you a good call because you have said for weeks to just fade the Timberwolves.
Okay, thank you.
But I do think they went on like a 7 or 8 game stretch of covering, and I don't know if you did or did not fade them, but they're back to their ways. So we'll keep an eye on that post All-Star break. Talk about the Miami Heat.
I'll talk about 3 things that I really want to get off my chest. The Miami Heat gave up a 24-0 run to start the fourth quarter to the Oklahoma City Thunder. At that point, they were minus 170 to win the game. I had them plus 650. Very disgusted by that. They almost didn't cover the spread. Number 2, Donovan Clingan had a double-double plus 300, and fucking Jalen Brunson scored 30 plus 175, and stupid-ass CJ McCollum, who was the even money bet on the parlay, sold it. Fuck him. And who was my third? Oh, third thing was I was on the phone with DGen earlier, and he was picking up his dry cleaning, and he says, it's not ready. The guy's like, yo, it's not ready. And DGen said, okay, well, my mom's going to come pick it up. And the guy at the dry cleaning goes, well, is she good looking? Literally. And I go, did that fucking guy just ask if your mom was good looking? And he's like, yeah, it's kind of weird. That really happened.
That's right. It was pretty weird.
It was the weirdest thing ever, dude. I
kind of just shrugged it off, and you on the other line pointed out. I was like,
how do you answer that fucking question? Is your mom hot?
No, not hot. Is she good? Is she
good looking? How do you answer that, dude?
What did I say? She's all right.
You said she's all right. I didn't want to say that.
You said no. I mean, I think I was all right. Who's gonna say like, oh yeah, my mom is a smoke show?
Oh my god. Yeah, she's a fucking dime, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's.
If you don't do it, I will.
That's too far. That's absolutely too far.
Okay, I should probably get off stream.
No, I don't think you need to. Yeah, she's all right. She's even money. Oh, that's not bad. Saying your mom.
That's funny.
It is not. What else are you gonna say? No, I'm dying. If Paul Mack, what's up? Yeah, that got a pretty good rile out of everybody. I guess we should probably acknowledge the spaces last night.
I see someone brought it up.
I see somebody already brought it up. I'm not even going to highlight the comment. I don't even know really where to begin, other than I don't know it didn't really feel like a good topic of conversation for the spaces, given how they've been going. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, the thing for me is I think I'm a little bit in the minority because I really fucking hate those spaces, dude. No, I really do. I'm sorry. No. I know they're entertaining. I don't enjoy them a lot of the times. I understand I'm in the minority. I know everybody in the chat is about to say they love them. I know people love them. There's thousands of people. They're tough for me. They're like scammers and idiots. So like, would I ever really want to see someone like MJ on there? Not really, if you want my honest opinion. I just sort of think it's beneath him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the whole thing felt kind of weird, and I know there's probably some hype people behind the scenes who thought it was a good idea. Maybe it's for exposure because you get 1,000 people in there, you get some big eyes on you. You get, Taylor Mathis is obviously one who seems to be in there all the time. Jeff Nadu was in there. Jersey Jerry, Big Cat was in one of them. But I don't think you're in the minority stake. I think a lot of people don't like them, but it's the same way as in when you watch reality TV, it's bad, but you just can't stop listening or watching. I thought the spaces from the most part, I haven't listened to all of them, and I'm honestly, every time I go and I look at the recording, because I'll like catch up to some of it and see if any of it's interesting, I can't believe how consistent they all are being 4 hours. Dude, starting at 9 o'clock. I mean, I guess when you're younger, you just don't go to bed till 2 a.m. A 4-hour spaces is crazy, right?
It's crazy that kid is fucking really putting the work in.
I mean, that's like a fucking
kind of sucks at it, dude. That's what's kind of weird for me is like, I'm not talking shit about him at all, what he's doing. He's obviously got something going, but I feel like he's a shitty mediator. I don't think he's good at it.
Oh, he's gotten some criticism for it. I think he's kind of in a tough spot at times because here's the thing. When you get people to agree to come, like Ariel Epstein or Taylor Mathis, you can't just get them up there and then shit on them. So like you do kind of have to be a true moderator, but he's definitely been way too nice to people sometimes where I'm like, that you agree, right?
He straight up simped for Taylor Mathis. Let's
Yeah.
call it what it is.
Yes.
He acted like a guy who has never got pussy ever in his life when she came up there. That's just the truth.
Yeah. So for the most part, like some of the beefs, if you will call it, that have been on there, I thought like some of them were pretty decent. I thought Nadeau kind of dropped the ball when he went up against Mathis. He didn't really bring up many good things. But I've heard like some good back and forth. I'm shocked, Steak. The biggest thing I'm shocked about. What is everybody laughing about, by the way? 90% of 20-year-olds would simp for walking tits. Yeah, I guess that's kind of true.
Yeah, we've learned that. You're right about that.
I can't believe how many paid Discord cappers there are in this space, and VIP people, and like I get there, dude. Don't you feel like there's a whole world of? I feel like I'm tapped in on gambling Twitter. I don't know that I'm actually tapped into maybe 20% of it.
We're not, dude. You can listen to those spaces and you can see that we're literally not tapped in. I don't know who anybody is. I literally don't know who anybody is on there.
I don't know if anyone in our community is, and I guess we definitely have like a blend of I would say the Book It crowd, and because that's probably also due to the fact that when I started this channel and the account, I did go on Trent's stream for a bit. If Steak was 28 years old,
I'll just go ahead and address this right now. You're correct. You're right. 23-year-old me would have absolutely tried to find a way to make money on it. 100%. You're right.
Yeah, because, and I do we both agree? I don't have any problem with people selling picks. Do you?
I don't have any problem with people selling picks as long as they are 100% transparent about the correct lines and their record.
Oh, 1,000,000%. I mean, in my opinion, that's a given. That's just a given. But there's sayings, right? If you're good at something, don't do it for free. Also, at the end of the day, one of my biggest takeaways are if there is a demand, supply and demand. There's people that want to win money betting, and they literally just want to tail people who are good at it. So if you want to monetize because you think you are good enough at it, I don't care. I truly don't. That's on that person to pay. So, well, who's the beef really with people? And that's the one thing, like the people who come in there sometimes and try to hold the VIP cappers accountable. Sometimes I think they backfire and they do a shitty job of that. Do you kind of agree?
Yeah, I do.
So anyways, but yeah, I don't know. I think the MJ and ref beef is probably something that we probably should be moved on by now. B, it probably should have been resolved or squashed, whatever you want to call it, between them, or at least not in a space with 900 people who don't know who the fuck they are and what's going on. I thought it seemed you could even, because you can see Elf's face. He looked confused. I don't know. I don't know that anything was really well explained. But I think like the ultimate point, at least for those spaces, is I think the good that can come of it is to expose the scammers, and so that it kind of raises I don't know, awareness or something, but it's like, oh, hey, this guy's on your radar. Maybe don't pay them if they're full of shit. I don't know that any good came out of last night's space. And I mean, look, we obviously were associate ourselves with Ramble. Steak, you go on quite often and everything, and we have no bad things to say necessarily, but no. At the same time, I think we should make it pretty clear. I don't think there's anything positive or good to come out of piling on or bullying, whatever you want to call it, or shitting on between ref and MJ.
I think it could really be simplified, so I hope I do a good job at doing that. MJ has every right to not want somebody dropping slurs on the stream. It's a completely reasonable reason not to want to work with anyone, and then that should just be it. The problem is, and I think there's a lot of people, like I think at least half the people in there have someone in their life or know someone who has struggled with addiction or needs help. And now take that person that you know in your life that needs help or struggles with addiction and throw them into the Twitter gambling space.
Yeah, it's not good.
Would you not agree that's the most toxic combination of things that a person can do? Yes. And so for me, I just think he needs help. I really hope he gets help. Like genuinely, I have zero negative things to say about ref. I hope he gets the help he needs. And I don't think MJ's wrong. I think at some point you can MJ's defending himself. Like, that is the truth. And I've seen the text where ref is digging at MJ, but then when it gets back, ref does a little bit of the victim thing. That's what I don't love, is like, you're either you're the victim or you're not. You can't be both. So yeah, I just think, and everybody in this space should just push ref to get help without saying negative things about him or calling him names. It's just you.
Yeah, I don't know that there needs to be like tagging. I guess I don't follow like the Action Network notes and shit, but I guess I heard that was brought up and everything, and it's made known to when they're fading each other or something like that. I think that there is no better time to be mature adults and go your separate ways. Ref should focus on his stream, his brand, and MJ.
But maybe I'm just going to be honest, and I'm not telling anybody what to do, but we are here talking about it. I personally think ref should not focus on his brand at this moment. I think ref should focus on his mental health and some time away, not sports gambling.
Yeah, that's true. I think that the pressure and the stress, that's a really good point. The pressure and the stress that comes every day with trying to, I don't know another way to put it, find winners, and you have eyeballs on you. And when you lose, even you, Steak, you're up 80 something units dog of the day. You lose, what happens? You get somebody with no picture fucking chirping you, telling you're a fucking idiot, you're a piece of shit, whatever. So it doesn't matter how good or how bad you're doing. This is a very, very toxic place. And yeah, I mean, look, I think you're right. I don't think it's a good place for anybody who's dealing with shit. And I think it's pretty obvious. And I don't think it's not even an assumption. I don't think ref hides it. Like, he's dealing with shit. So take some time off, get some help. And honestly, like, move forward without intertwining with each other. Wouldn't you think that that's fair?
Absolutely. And then Aloha, I saw you mention that people try and he denies it. And I'm just telling you, because I have people in my life that have struggled with addiction. That's what they do. That is the stage of this. Denying it is an absolute stage of this. It's probably the most stubborn stage. So it's not surprising to see. I'm just being honest.
And honestly, I mean, I know we probably have people in our stream who are supporters of ref and follow his stream and everything. I mean, you guys, I can't fucking, we're too old to sit here and babysit everybody. You have kids. I'm just old and cranky. We can't save everybody. But if you're a follower and a supporter of a page and you're watching somebody every day and you feel like maybe you grow a connection or something, like, you should be that voice in somebody's head. You shouldn't be trying to advocate for more gambling and more stress and everything like that. I think there should be some emphasis on trying to bring the positives, and definitely less of an effort on trying to fuck with anybody.
Yeah, except the people, like we said, like, you are fun to chirp. You take chirps well. I take chirps well. Beep takes chirps great. I love chirping Beep. It's a fucking great thing. I literally see a fucking Beep post, I'm gonna chirp him because he's fucking funny and he can take it. If you chirp your friends and fucking not the random stranger who just lost his bet or the fucking guy you see struggling, like, it's not. Yeah.
There's nothing good about chirping somebody who you can tell is struggling. There's nothing good to come of that. Yeah. And only, I think I like chirping Johnny Giuntana too. Although I'm starting to realize, maybe do you remember when he got mad at me in a Twitter space?
Of course I do.
Yeah. So now I second guess actually chirping Johnny Giuntana. He might be a little too soft. Although I can't even imagine the amount of people that are in Johnny's space, or it's Johnny's DMs from other. Did you see the beef with the John Boy yesterday?
No.
Dude, Avery's comment popped up. Avery ratioed John Boy.
I did not see that. Now I want to see it.
They said if Johnny full faded, he deserves the chirps. By the way, I don't give a shit if anybody wins or loses bets, by the way. At the end of the day, if you're a good person, you're a good person, and don't be a douchebag. But I think that I think it was so funny. John Boy, Alex Bregman apparently turned down a ginormous contract
from the Blue Jays.
That is what John Boy said.
Yeah.
Then he said, "Oops, sorry, it's not the Blue Jays." And Avery commented and said, "Fuck you." And then Johnny made a video. He calls him a crumb bum. I've never.
Oh yeah, I have to watch this. Okay, yeah, after the stream, I'll be watching this.
Oh, dude, it was so fucking funny.
That's
but anyways, I think ultimately that's all we really have to say on the matter. I I don't know. I don't know what would I don't really have much of an interest in the spaces anymore. I think I even tried to listen to some other people in their Billionaire Boys Club or something and others, and it's just doing nothing for me. Unless
Bro,
there is
they
like,
don't feel like human beings to me. I don't know like if I'm crazy, but like the people in there, I literally feel like they're not real people. Like they're some kind of weird aliens.
I mean, yeah, potentially. It's an interesting space. Sports game. And
Oh
that
my
and
god, who's sorry to cut you off? Who's the guy, the tennis guy that is I think it's like MB Bets or MP Bets or something like that. And I went in when he was talking one day, dude. It was fucking unbelievable. It was unbelievable what this guy sounded like. I don't even know how to recap it.
but Steak, doesn't it blow your mind that people pay him money?
Yeah. Yeah.
So look, I just think that there needs to be more accountability, right? How would you ever pay someone money? Bravo, tough topic. What did Cam say? The spaces
Oh,
suck ass. These
oh
people
my
would
bad.
never handle problems face to face. Spaces make them feel almighty.
Fair.
Yeah. Match point bents. It's letting people with burner accounts talk to the confidence if they were face to face. That's it. Yeah.
I literally listened to that match points Beth guy talk for like 5 minutes. I'm like, this is making me stupider. Like I am losing literal brain cells with this.
Yeah. I I'm trying to think. I don't know if you were Elf. I don't even know what you would do because there are definitely sponsors that want to come his
For
way.
sure. I would never be Elf. I wouldn't because I wouldn't do it, but people are going to want to, yeah, people want to be a part of it, dude. He's got fucking really famous people in the community fucking tuning in every single night.
I think that the problem is it's going to be like the 24-hour news cycle where there just isn't that many topics or beef or drama to talk about. So it's going to be like a little manufactured and fabricated and kind of exaggerated a little bit. Or you get, excuse me, things that are brought up in there that don't even necessarily need to be, like what was in there last night. And so anyways, yeah, I guess I want to be more careful about, like, I don't want to necessarily endorse what's going on in these spaces, but at the same time, I can't lie to you. Like, I listen to them, and there are times where I am entertained and I'm enjoying the, quote unquote brain rot.
If there's no reason not to talk about something that A, everybody listens to, and B, that's fucking the one last night obviously hits home for us. We're Ramble guys. I go on Ramble multiple times a month. So I think not addressing it at all would have been kind of, honestly, a little cowardly of us.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's probably good for now. Before we get Croft, by the way, sub bang Croft 048. I think you're a new, what are you laughing about? Are you laughing at something?
Steak, the type of guy to put his parlay on a t-shirt. I don't know if you saw my post. But you did.
Did you get any flack for that?
I actually don't think so. I didn't really read the comments, but it definitely blew up a little bit.
Yeah, it did. It did pretty well. And I remember telling you, like, oh, I think someone made that same joke. And then I found it and you said, no, mine is way better. And I was like, actually, yeah, you're right. Yours is way better.
And full disclosure, I did not see that.
No, I know. I know that you wouldn't take steal somebody's joke. That is something we always try to pride ourselves on. And you know what? I think the chat for the most part knows that and will always call us out. And that's something we want. We always want to be held accountable if we're never swagger jacking somebody, copycatting somebody. Do you remember I tweeted something 6 seconds after Big Cat?
Yes, I do remember that. It was hilarious.
And I have to admit, I have Big Cat's notifications on, but I don't always see everybody's notifications.
6 seconds. If you're copying him in 6 seconds, you're pretty fucking impressive.
Exactly. But I had so many people screenshot that and send it to me or forward it to me. And it was like, oh, you're trying to be Big Cat so bad or something. I'm like, dude, I swear. So, all right. Anyways, what was your takeaway, by the way, from Paulo Banchero in the flesh? Guy came through for us. Franz was
did I not reverse the curse, dude?
You did.
40 PRA, 3 3-pointers, made 2 in the first half, sweat free. He fucking gave me a look, dude. He gave me a look like that guy at the dry cleaners is going to look at your mom.
Did you actually really make eye contact with Paulo?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. 100%. And then we held it for like 40 seconds.
No, you didn't.
Everybody in the arena was feeling weird. They could feel the tension.
I'll tell you who was feeling weird. Franz was definitely feeling weird. That guy was doing something 2 nights ago. All right, Steak. Let's talk NBA.
Yeah.
5 games on. What? You got something else you want to address?
No, I feel
your balls deep in the chat right now.
I feel drunk. I can't even be. My eyes are blurry.
You know what you are? If we were a band at a concert right now, you are in the crowd playing your instrument, hanging out with everybody.
or crowd surfing.
That's what you're doing. You're crowd surfing right now. All right, let me get RotoWire up. Let me get
Trent chirped me for the Heat play too. That was fun. I'm having a really good day.
What did he say?
I don't remember. He was like, I bet that was fun. Of the 24-0 run, he chirped me. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Okay, so that's another guy who I think is a perfect example of somebody who Trent's got thicker skin than I do.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know that I could handle. And Big Cat even said, as big as Big Cat is, he's like, he's a softie, but he's like, you can have 99 positive comments. The one negative one will eat you up. Dude, Trent is the total opposite. Trent gets 99 negative comments, has 1 positive one, and this guy has made a business out of just leaning into it.
Yeah, he's the goat at it. He's the goat at taking chirps.
He's the fucking best at it. Okay, let's.
That's why when he chirps you, dude, it's like maybe go play in traffic.
I love the dog of the day beef, though. Were you already thinking about playing?
I already posted it.
Oh, you already had the Heat.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
By the way, I watched some of that Spurs Celtics game. Just I'm starting to get some eyes on ball a little bit more whenever it's on TV. I don't have the NBA package or anything.
Eyes on ball.
Did I say that weird?
Eyes on ball. Go on.
Oh, I think I see what you're saying. Eyes on ball, like a ball sack.
No, just eyes on ball.
I'm not a stretch. That's a stretch.
Just go.
You are so fucking crowd surfing right now. It's not even funny.
Dude, I'm drunk.
I need you back on stage. Okay, fine. But can I just talk to you about the Spurs for a second? First of all, the Celtics are ridiculous. Every time they shot a 3, it was like it went in, and if it didn't go in, they got the offensive rebound. Peyton Pritchard's annoyingly good whenever you bet against them. Dude, the Spurs have some fucking dudes. The Spurs are a fun team. I don't know what their record is. Chat, bro, it's 10:30. I just chatted like a fucking streamer.
Wait. Okay, sorry. There's one part of the space yesterday that was super funny.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
Can I please say it? Please?
No, don't say the actual word.
I won't say the actual word. Ref keeps saying an F word, the term for homosexuals, over and over, and MJ goes, he keeps saying the slur, and fucking ref goes, I don't know the rules. And I just fucking couldn't get over how funny that is. I'm sorry. It's not funny, but that part was so funny.
And I understand, because you want to give context to the story. So you want to say what it is, but also Elf, I don't know if you know this, Elf Spaces had gotten taken down before.
Well, you can't say that word 9 times in a fucking 2-minute span.
No. I understand, but it was funny because I know Elf had the Spaces taken down before because somebody was coming in. I think they were saying the R word.
Okay.
And so I thought, I was like, this space might get taken down.
What do you think gets you canceled first, in your opinion, R or F word?
F.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Yeah. I was surprised nobody said anything. What's up, Beavers 2024 new follow? Welcome to the space. We are free speech Trump's country. Very funny. Welcome to X Elon's country. Okay. Neither it's 2025. Let him rip puss. Oh, Jesus. Okay, we're gonna try to get on. I see you in the chat. Is there anything else you want to acknowledge?
No. Okay. You should really take over here.
I mean, I'm trying, but
okay, I'll try to stay focused.
Understand though, this look on your face, I can tell when it's like something is heating up to being very funny.
I just literally about to fall asleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So there's no point in labbing.
No, we have the NBA for sure, but you're going to get a much smarter guy on here in 20 minutes to talk college basketball, so that's cool.
Yeah, very excited to have Snowman on. Okay. Oh, I wanted to ask you about the Spurs. I know they're playing well, but have you?
They're not actually. They're actually haven't covered a single spread since they got De'Aaron Fox. But I still don't think you're wrong, and I'm not going to say you don't know ball, because I do think De'Aaron Fox makes them a really, really good team, and next year, with Wemby a year older and De'Aaron Fox full year, I think the Spurs are a fucking problem, personally.
Okay. Well, they covered 3 in Orlando, but I see. Yeah, they haven't covered anything else since then.
Oh, my bad. They covered 3 and lost that one, and then didn't cover any of the others.
So wait
You're
a
right.
minute. Why did I watch the Spurs yesterday and think they were a good team? They're
I don't
23
know.
and
They got their
21.
ass kicked. They got their ass kicked.
Dude, I thought Vassell is a dog. I thought Castle's a dog. I mean, I've seen Castle play at UConn. He's really good. Am I wrong here? No?
No, you're not wrong. I told you. I agree with you. They're not playing very well right now. I see why you like the Spurs. There's things to like about the Spurs for sure. And I agree, Hefe, 100 fucking percent.
Isn't it kind of pathetic that there's a 10 seed now?
At least it's not really a 10 seed. It's a play-in at least. But
I know.
It's still kind of ridiculous. You're right.
But you know what's gonna fucking happen as soon. I mean, the 8 and the 7s are just gonna get their ass kicked anyway. Yeah, half the NBA doesn't need to make the playoffs.
Half the NBA does not need to make the playoffs.
And now we have 4 additional teams with a chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah, because really, man, you could really strongly argue 8 seeds don't need to be there.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna stop doing this. When Tatum was going through a bit of a slump, that game winner in New Orleans changed everything, and that motherfucker's back. I think he's just going to be in demon mode the rest of the year. Steak, do you have an MVP bet?
Yes, Jay. I think we put that in the newsletter.
John Morant?
No, SGA.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I have Thunder to win the finals. But let me just say, Jason Tatum is the guy that when he's struggling, everyone's super loud. And then when he's fucking dominating, people don't say a fucking peep. That's how it goes for Jason Tatum. I think, and I've said this before, I don't really understand why people hate Jason Tatum so much. I get the corny thing. I get the no aura thing. Like, I understand it. He's a little corny. I give everybody that. But why do we hate him so much?
I think he's more than a little corny. I think you're being nice.
Really?
Yeah, dude, come on.
God,
Tatum, did you watch him starting 5?
I know that he's not. I understand. He doesn't have like that fucking aura. I totally get it. But damn.
He's hella corny. But I think he's a phenomenal basketball player.
Yeah, and I don't know, and a good guy.
He's
not like it would be like different if he fucking beat his wife or he was Miles Bridges.
You know, people always ask this, and I just think
I have an answer.
Okay, but all right, you go first.
Yeah, it can't be answered. If you don't look at Jason Tatum, if you look at Jason Tatum and don't think he's a little corny, totally fine. You're entitled to your opinion, but I don't think I can explain it to you.
That is literally, actually, it's not how I was going to say it, but that is exactly what I was going to say. When I say somebody is corny, and then they say what makes him corny, I just think it's okay to not even try to have the conversation because I can't put it into words. You just see somebody like, dude, who's a fucking oh my god, there's like this comedian that everybody finds funny, and I just don't understand it.
Who would that be?
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to think of it later because I'm not like super tapped into the comedy world. I'm a Tim Dillon guy and Shane Gillis, but
Kermit
anyway,
describe him. I got you. Kermit knows every comedian on the fucking planet.
Kermit, I'm gonna hit you up later. We won't do this right now because it's not gonna be good. Yeah, but anyways, went to the same high school as Tatum. He's corny and preppy as fuck. Yeah,
that makes sense.
This can't be real.
I don't think it's real, but he's also not going to win the MVP. He has no shot for an MVP.
No, those aren't them, Kermit. I don't. Oh, is it Matt? No.
Matt Rife is like the handsome guy who fucking does all like the crowd work, and I think he got famous on TikTok.
Dude, it's gonna drive me nuts, but I'm really trying to move on because I'm telling you, I keep getting Nate Bargatze in my head, and that's not who I'm thinking of.
No, because he's funny.
Nate Bargatze's very good, like PG-13 comedy, and I think that's kind of hard to do. Oh, like kind of like how Will Smith making rap songs without cursing was hard to do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I'm not saying it's the best.
No, it's kind of corny.
Oh fuck, dude, I'm gonna get it as soon as we hang up. Anyways, okay, so I'm way off about the Spurs then.
No, you're not way. I just said you weren't way off. Just telling.
I think the Spurs have dudes.
Have dudes. I agree.
Okay. No, not Theo Vaughn. Fuck. Who would you rather have, Tatum or Giannis? Ooh.
Fun one. It's a fun question.
That is a fun one. Nate is hilarious. Yeah, I don't mid-major Matt Rife funny. I don't think enough people know about Tim Dillon, by the way. I think he's the funniest guy out there currently. And I saw him at the Dr. Phillips Theater in Orlando, and he was fucking
Hilarious. Hilarious.
Okay. Sacramento, New Orleans, State, Golden State, Houston. Do you have any? The Rockets were a team you wanted to keep fading. Did the Suns cover?
The Suns covered. Suns covered. They were like in the lead. I lost. I should have hit more yesterday. I'm just going to be honest. Everybody I had sold. Everybody I had sold. Even the Hawks came back and were up like 5 in overtime, and they fucking sold. I think everybody's out for the Warriors. If you want to pull up the RotoWire, that'd be the first thing I'd do.
Oops, I didn't mean to do that.
Anthony Jeselnik is very funny. OG Sour.
I think Jeselnik kind of fell off the map, though.
God, there was one joke I'm trying to remember.
No, don't even fucking.
I'm not. It was one of the best jokes ever, though.
Okay. What RotoWire are we looking at again?
Rockets, Warriors. CJ sold, dude. It's crazy. Curry's playing. Jimmy Butler's playing. I'm fucking wrong. They're all playing. Oh, it's because Steve Kerr was bitching. That's right. Steve Kerr. You saw this? I posted about it.
No.
Steve Kerr was bitching, dude, because they have to fly from Dallas to Houston. The people who make $30 million a year have to fly from Dallas to Houston. He's bitching. Literally, you should look at what I posted.
You posted it?
He's such a bitch. Oh, my God. I couldn't imagine that being the hill I die on as a coach, a flight from Dallas to Houston.
Wait a minute.
Dave Martinez, Paulo was a solo mission.
I will,
Rolo. I will.
How much of a whiny bitch Steve Kerr has become, flying from Dallas to Houston, motherfucker acting like they had a back-to-back in Australia. He has gotten very annoying, and I'm not even trying to get political.
It's not political. It's not political.
No, I understand.
It's basketball. He's fucking annoying. It has nothing to do with politics for me.
No, I know, but people will stretch that into politics.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. What is the complaint?
The complaint is that they're getting into Houston at 3 p.m. today, and it's not enough rest for his vets.
Why are they getting into Houston at 3 p.m.?
I don't know, bro. That's what he says. You should listen to it. If you want to understand it fully, you should listen to what he says.
No, I'll look at it later. I guess it's I don't want to dwell on Steve Kerr.
3 a.m. Sorry, 3 a.m.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3 p.m.
My bad.
Yeah, that sounds normal.
To me, it does too.
They left last night. Yeah, but that's what you do.
Fucking drove and got there on time.
So they just played in Dallas. Now they're playing in Houston on a back-to-back. San Antonio to Dallas is 2 hours. 2-hour flight? No, that can't be right.
It's got to be a drive.
All right. So what do we like in this game? If we have to like anything at all, I know you don't cap NBA this early, but
yeah, because I'm going to tell you that like I lean Rockets right now. But same thing with the Sixers the other night when I said I lean Sixers. I kind of think the Rockets are a legitimate fade, at least for this game, until they get the All-Star break. They're a little bit falling into the Magic category for me of a team that is a fade right now. I know they won last night. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say they finally turned it around in terms of winning. They haven't covered, but the Warriors have been on a tear though. I know they lost last night. But they were 7.5 point favorites. My bad. I take that back. They are not on a tear. I thought they covered. I thought they were dogs.
Did they lose to Dallas? They lost to Dallas, right?
Yeah. I think fading the Warriors would be pretty obvious here.
Yeah. Fading the Warriors would be pretty obvious. Yeah, after Steve Kerr's bitching about them not having enough rest, yeah, I guess so.
What is the when's the last time you bet a favorite in the
NBA? I have. I'm trying to remember. The Phoenix Suns, the night they had that miracle comeback and Grayson Allen hit that 3 to send it to overtime. I had Suns -6.
Oh God, that's right. Oh, I had the Jazz 8.5 that game, and we both covered. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But I did have Jazz money line too. Okay, so
you got fucked.
Yeah, I know. Nothing here.
Nope.
You don't care for anything on the RotoWire. Nothing here. You want to go back to CJ McCollum?
Yeah, I have to. I just have to.
You have to.
Don't have a choice.
No.
His line got steamed from 20.5 to 24.
Oh, dude.
And he had 14. Hate him so much.
So I told you about this, and obviously everybody knows I bitch about it all the time. You're always a game early, week early, whatever, even a fucking season early. Thank you, Philadelphia Eagles. But I think that the Trae Young assists and Dyson Daniel points. Two things I played the night before or the game before. Daniels goes over, and Trae Young, I think, had 19 assists. Granted, it was overtime, but still, that dude was balling. And you know what, Steak? One more thing. When you think about this, Trae Young look ahead in Orlando before he goes to New York. Guy didn't do shit until late. Then he started balling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
I'm just spitballing here. Could be something to look at.
Did you see that Jimmy Butler pooped his pants?
I did see that. Yeah. Are athletes really shitting their pants though?
I know. I'm trying to figure that out too.
I don't think so.
So what do you think's going on down there?
I don't think Jimmy would shit his pants and then walk off like just casually. Like,
so what is going on? What are we looking at?
I think it could be he sat in some Gatorade.
Sat in some brown Gatorade.
That was kind of like yellow.
Was it? Pull up the picture. Let's pull up the picture.
All right, but hold on a second. I just want to go see real quick what CJ McCollum is today. Does anybody know?
I'll look up CJ McCollum. You find the picture of Jimmy Butler's shitty ass.
All right, hold on. Satin brown Gatorade. That Gatorade was not fucking brown.
No, the Gatorade wasn't brown, but the poop was.
Hold on, Jimmy Butler. All right, hold on. Jimmy Butler literally
22.5 overs juiced.
What is?
Over.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Maybe can you make it bigger?
If I go full screen, you can't see it. Oof.
Backrows, can you run a poll? And if we think this is shit or something else?
You think that's shit?
I just don't know what that could be, really.
It's not shit, dude.
Okay.
That's not shit. There's no way you're moving around like that with shit in your pants.
Can't on his phone. Well, if there's a mod here, we should run a poll, but it's fine. I don't even know why we fucking.
That's yellow.
Yeah, okay. God, it really looks like shit to me, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, just looks like shit to me. That looks like shit, dude.
That's fucking yellow.
It's like shit.
That's yellow, dude. That's yellow. Do something for once. Yeah, it could be piss. It's not poop. It's not poop. It's not poop.
Fine. We move on.
It's not. I mean, no, it's not brown. It's fucking. That's fucking yellow. All right. By the way, I tried the Subway footlong cookie yesterday. Really good.
Yeah. Were you going to make a review before I commented that? And I just knew you were going to do it.
So I actually walked by the sign for the cookie, and I went to get a little poke bowl thing.
Yeah, I love
a little poke bowl with some salmon. And as I'm sitting there, I started to say to myself, I was just thinking about that, and I'm like, man, what a crazy idea to do a foot-long cookie. And I hate Subway. Subway's terrible. I haven't eaten Subway in over 10 years. But I started to tell myself, I remembered that their cookies were good. I used to sometimes legitimately go to Subway only for a chocolate chip and a white macadamia nut cookie. Do you like their cookies?
I can't remember the last time I've had a Subway cookie, to be completely honest with you.
Well, so it was a little bit of kind of like right at that moment of I had the time. I was waiting for my dog at the vet. I had the time, and I saw you say you got to do a review, and you kind of pushed me over the edge. But you want to hear the funniest part? So I go to do a review, and before I go to use the bathroom, and that Savage Garden song was playing in the bathroom. Ooh, I want you. I don't know. And I'm like,
great song.
Great song, a phenomenal song. But I'm like thinking to myself, this is a song about that cookie. I want you. I don't know that I need you, but I would die to find out. So I was like, all right, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Like, can I address Fat Girls real quick? Fat Girls was in his bag yesterday. Klingon double plus 300. And he said Brunson was going off. He's always in his bag. But why am I always glazing you? And you come in here talking shit about me. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I just say something?
Me and Fat Girls might have to go on Elf Spaces and hash this out.
Can I say something? I always feel like I'm the petty one. I always feel like you downplay anybody that's being a little rugrat, annoying, chirping motherfucker in here. Like, whatever, it's fine. It's no big deal. It's Fat Girls. He's great. Blah, 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 blah. In this drunk, hungover, whatever.
10 fat girls, Hefe. You better get 10 of them.
Whatever you're doing right now, I love it. I think you need to do more of this because he's annoying. He's being annoying. And there are 25 annoying motherfuckers in here. Not all the time. They're great majority of the time, 95% of the time. But 5% of the time, they wake up and they want to be annoying. And I'm the only fucking guy. I get called the old grandpa, Larry David, this, that, this. No, finally, you just stopped everything. You stopped everything. You said, can I just talk about Fat Girls? Why is he being a fucking asshole? He likes to be an asshole some days.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's great. It's I'm always praising him because he's always really good at props.
But
I'm going to start talking shit about him for sure. I just said, you need 10 fat girls if you want to box me.
I understand that, but you always just glaze. You never chirp. So you never yell at somebody when they need to be yelled at.
If Fat Girls wanted to box me, you'd need to bring Chewy and a Hooters manager.
No, we're not boxing anybody.
I'm joking. We're going on elf spaces.
No, but wait, I think we've talked about this before. If you and I arm wrestled, would you beat me like easily?
I'm not a good arm wrestler. I know that's weird. I genuinely believe that arm wrestling has a lot to do with technique. And I'm just not good at it. Like, that's the truth. I'm actually not good at arm wrestling, like, at all. And somebody who's, like, ass I could 100% beat can beat me in arm wrestling. I know that's strange.
Do you have long arms?
No.
I don't either. I wonder if we would be... And you're stronger than me. What can you bench right now?
You love doing this. We did the bench thing, and I got called out for my form. I don't bench for reps anymore. I definitely can bench a lot more than you, for sure.
Okay. How many push-ups can you do without stopping?
I'll test it out next time we hang out. You can fucking post it.
I'm just wondering if we should do a live stream of us arm wrestling.
Yeah, it would be the most fair thing we could do. I'm telling you, I'm not very good.
I agree. Unless, how are you at Thumb Wars?
Really pretty good. I'm pretty good. Yeah.
You seem like a good Thumb War guy.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe we'll do a live stream of a yeah. I don't know if Steak wrestled, but no. You look like a guy that can wrestle.
Yeah. I did not wrestle.
When's the last time you've wrestled anyone?
Been longer than it should have. Back in the bar days, it was like get drunk, close up the bar, and then you and the fucking security guards fucking wrestle.
You wrestled Brian one time, really?
Yeah, well. He was also a Marine and a cop. That should be pointed out. He's a freak.
I think you handled him pretty well.
It was definitely a stalemate. I did not beat him.
You did not beat him, but you did better than I thought you were going to.
Yeah, he's a strong fuck.
Steak, better do the push-up video shirtless so we can compare back hair with DJ.
I shaved my shit.
I think
you can't say that word, Snidesy. No, can't say the words.
Who the fuck is Bubba Ray Dudley?
Don't know, but I'm going to be Googling it after the stream.
Okay.
Did you send Snowman the link?
No, I'm about to, though. Do you want to talk about anything else in the NBA board? And then we're going to get Snowman up here. And
I've never been less locked, but I will dig in. Damn, I got to look up Bubba Ray. Everybody thinks it's funny. Maybe you should look up Bubba Ray right now.
Why don't you look up Bubba Ray? And then I'm going to say, Snowman, if you're tapped in or tuned in, please be on standby because I probably should have sent you the link earlier. My bad. Boom. Oops. Oh shit! I just added something. Hold on.
Look up Dudley. Damn, you guys. Bubba Ray Dudley.
Oh, the Dudley boys.
I don't know shit about anything, is what I'm learning today.
You're downplaying your knowledge of random things.
I hope that's what you're talking about.
Oh,
that's
my God.
Fucking funny.
Who said that?
Beetle. Beat late. I guess that's how you say it. That's incredibly funny.
Bro.
That's fucking hilarious. My friends cannot get a hold of that, dude. My friends cannot see that.
I was just gonna say, how
can't have my friends see that, dude. That just
has not one person said that you look
it's over for me if my friends see that.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking at all these. He kind of looks like Alex Jones too. You don't look like Alex Jones.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna leave and go to sleep, and you're gonna do a great job with Snowman.
Yeah, you did great. Thanks a lot, Steak. Have a great day.
Yep. Bye.
All right, peace. All right, let me transition to the board here. All right, guys. Snowman is locked and loaded in the queue. Looking forward to bringing him up. Snowman, how are you?
Doing well, D-Gen. How are you? Thanks for having me on the show.
Of course. Thank you very much for coming on. Indiana supporter. Just to make it known, I think I asked you this before. You are an alum of Indiana?
Correct. Yes.
I came on your stream. Thank you for having me, by the way. You do a very, very good job. And we talked Indiana Notre Dame. Does that sound right?
Yes, we talked, I think it was the entire first round of the college ball playoff.
That's right. And I told you, if you remember correctly, I am a Notre Dame fan, and I bet Indiana was my largest college football play of the season. 3 units, and that was a rat shit wager because Curtis Rourke did not show up until 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. But we don't have to relive that. However,
I can talk a lot about that game, and it'll just be a bitch fest.
That's true. Let's not do that. However, I do want to get your thoughts. You've refreshed my memory now. We'll probably have to do this again in a few months when we talk college football futures, because I will definitely be intrigued to know more about Indiana football going in to the season. But anyway, Snowman, you do a stream on Twitch. Is it Snowman Sports?
Yes, Snowman Sports, no underscore. The underscore is on Twitter, but I got to get the actual Snowman Sports on Twitter because the guy who uses it hasn't tweeted in like 6 years or something like that.
That's very annoying. Mods, if we can give Snowman Sports a shout out, that would be great. And what days and times do you go live?
I go live pretty much every single day. Weekends around 10 o'clock Central. Weekdays, I've been going a little bit more around 5 o'clock Central, maybe 4:30 if there's an early slate, but sometimes it'll be earlier in the day. It just depends on if I have free time or not, but usually closer to the slate start.
And just to give people an understanding, are you, would you say in terms of sports betting where you like prioritize, where you put your focus and obviously your money, whatever, is college basketball up there at the top?
For sure. Yeah.
Okay.
College basketball is probably my favorite sport to bet on. Baseball actually was really, really successful for me this past season. So I'm very much looking forward to baseball season. But yeah, college basketball, certainly over the NBA. Like NBA, I don't get how Steak does it with these dogs, because whenever I try to like find the good dogs in the NBA, it's just donation, donation, donation.
I wish I could tell you. People have legitimately asked me, and there is, I don't know the rhyme or reason to how he does it. I don't know the method to his madness. It's all feel, because if you tune into our streams, we'll look at the lines, and that's kind of how we used to wager. We would kind of like, line read, whatever the fuck you want to call it, be a little bit more contrarian, and we'd be like, oh, look, it happened just the other day, I think, with the Raptors and the Sixers. Like, wow, 9 points with the Sixers with the way they've been playing is a lot. Who wants to lay that at 11 a.m.? 6 hours later, State goes from thinking that's a lot of respect to the Sixers and then betting the Raptors to cover, to win the first half, whatever, and then wins fucking 17 units on that. And I'm just like, what happened to you? So I don't know. It's just a weird feel and vibe or whatnot. What would you say your capping strategy is? What do you look? Do you reference Ken Palm? Do you look for I guess, I don't know, do you try to time scheduling spots or anything like that?
I mean, there's like a ton of different factors. I think a lot of when it comes to capping sports games, there's so many different factors that you look at. There's bounce back spots, there's letdown spots, there's sandwich games, there's look ahead spots. At the end of the day, I think you have to like look at all the different factors and say which kind of overrides the other. Also, you got to watch a lot of games and kind of know how the teams play, how, especially in college sports, because the teams rotate so often, especially nowadays with the transfer portal and NIL. It's important to know like how the coaches kind of operate their schemes. So it's kind of a factor of everything. I definitely use Ken Palm. There's 364 college teams. I will openly say I don't have time to watch all 364 teams. I'll try to catch as much action as I can. But for all these, mid-major, nobody ball sack states, like I can say I have not watched a ton of Elon basketball or a ton of North Carolina A&T. And, a lot of times you have to look at the rankings, and as the season goes along, as we get more data, right, it becomes a little bit easier to say, okay, this is how this team plays. And the more you look at it, it's easier to interpret. So kind of use all that. Big line reading guy. I definitely love the, find the contrarian spots. I do have a line read play today on the college board, actually, that seems very, very sketch. But yeah, a lot of it was just trial and error. I've been betting on sports for a long time. I remember being in high school in, 2009, 2010, and me and one of my boys, we'd go to his place He lived close by the school. We'd go to his place after high school on Mondays and listen to the Bill Simmons Guess the Lines podcast. And we would pause and guess our own lines before him and Cousin Sal did. So like, I've always kind of been tuned in, paying attention to this stuff. And, just using my years of experience to kind of suss out what I think the best spots are. Nobody's perfect. We're not trying to be 100%. Obviously, every bet we want to place with the intention of winning. But as long as we're positive over time, that's all that matters, right?
Yes. That's funny you say that because I don't listen to Bill Simmons all the time, but I like to. I usually listen depending on who the guest he has or if he has Cousin Sal on. They actually just talked about it that there was like their 15-year anniversary or something. So it's you must have just started listening to that right whenever they started.
I was reading Bill Simmons before he ever started a podcast.
No
I
shit.
was OG back in the day, right? I was that kid, get Sports Illustrated, flip open to the back page, read Rick Riley, the first thing.
I forgot about Rick Riley. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and on that note, you must be about 5 years. What are you in your early 30s, 32, 33?
I turned 31 in 2 weeks.
Congratulations. So I am, okay. So it sounds like we're kind of similar, I guess, in terms of how we think, whatnot, but I have found, Snowman, I don't know if you are the same way. So I've been doing this since I was 18, so 19 years. And I have gone through all phases, different styles and strategies of sports betting. But the one I really latched onto the most was betting contrarian. And I would say in, like what would I call it? Maybe 2017, 18, 19 is kind of when I really started to lean into it. And then, COVID, obviously shit got weird and then everything stops and then you kind of like start back up again. But I still found that it was pretty successful in like 2021, 22. And that's kind of when I started this account. We were doing a newsletter and everything, and we were having pretty good success. And like, I think people found me and thought of me as like, because a lot of people aren't contrarians or weren't contrarians. Everybody bets with their instinct and their bias or whatever. You could call it square, and I keep doing this. I'm just trying to be polite. But anyways, it was working. And for the most part, I had people were following me of like, oh, this guy's a winning sports bettor. Last year, I got my ass kicked. It was the worst year betting. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you it was the worst year I've ever had because I don't know. I haven't tracked from fucking age 18, 19 till I was like 30. I
certainly paid a lot of market tuition back in those days. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And obviously, like I remember going fucking weeks of like, when am I ever going to get the Venmo? You know what I mean? So anyways, it was very, very rough. And I was like, holy shit. So I've started to adapt a little bit. But the most success that I have found, and I've used Action Network for God, I don't know how long I've used Action Network now, maybe going on 3 years. The sport that I've had the most success on, where I still think that this type of betting exists like long term that you can win. It's proven true even this year, is betting contrarian and are betting these weird lines and those unranked favorites against the ranked opponents and whatnot. So that's where I've had the most success. But I will be honest, I've gotten in my own head. I don't know what I'm up or down this year in college basketball. I think I'm probably right around even. I have not really tapped into it all the way though. But with football ending, I'm looking to like full speed go here, especially with hockey taking a break too. And on that note, I'd like to probably punch in some futures too. So, anyways, let's get into it. I'm looking forward to seeing what you have. This is probably, there's no better slate maybe to talk college basketball with you too, because I took a glance at it and it's tough. This is like when you really have to appreciate the grind and the dig. So I would love to review the board with you. We'll just go down. If you don't have anything, we don't have to spend too much time on it. I prefer.
It's a big mid-major board and even low mid-majors at that. The thing with college basketball is there's so many games every single day. Like it was funny because yesterday was a 15-game NBA slate. And I saw a lot of commentary on Twitter about like how it's such a huge slate and everyone's got to dive super deep into it. I'm like, yesterday was a small slate for college basketball. It was 44 games, So in a day like this, where most of the games are kind of rat, most of the games, I kind of talk about with college football too, where it's like, you don't have to bet on the game just because it's on, right? If there's a Thursday and there's only like 2 or 3 games, you don't have to bet every single game. If it were on a Saturday, right, when everybody plays, would you bet on that game? No. So in a slate like this, I wouldn't say take a game just to have action out there. You really want to pick and choose your spots. And, keep in mind, there's going to be a massive amount of games in the future, and you don't have to force things if you don't like it. So I don't have a ton of action today locked in. There are a couple spots that I do like, but yeah, that's kind of my general thoughts on today's board. It does not look very appetizing.
That's fine. We don't have to force anything. I still like to,
we can go through it, of course.
Yeah, I just like to get a little nasty, but if you don't have a strong lean, we'll just kind of browse through it.
Sure.
And on that note, anything, if you can see my screen, I mean, I just usually use covers. I feel like it's kind of visually pleasing for people, but I don't put a lot of emphasis into these lines. I don't think they're very accurate, but I'll still say them. But you can use anybody out there. I always tell them use Wager Talk, use Action Network, whatever the fuck you want to use, or just go to the actual books website that you use. But these couple of games up here right now, Monmouth, Cal Baptist, UMass Lowell, New Jersey Institute of Technology, love that. Anything you have on these first four?
Nothing that I'm in on. I did take a look at UT Arlington, right? This seems like a kind of a close spot for a Cal Baptist team that has definitely seemed better so far this season. Cal Baptist does have a very strong defense so far in conference play, but Arlington's strength is their offense. Generally speaking, it's easier for defense to travel than it is for offense. So if Cal Baptist is going to lose that offensive matchup to UT Arlington, that's definitely an advantage for them. At home, it's a little bit different with these mid-majors, but generally speaking, I prefer to bet on home teams because there's such a massive home court advantage in college basketball compared to virtually every other sport.
So what stands out to me initially is Cal Baptist is 8-15 ATS, and being a road favorite where home court is valued so much. I always feel like what I'm getting duped on the most this season are those short home dogs. And then in retrospect, after I lose the wager, I'm like, man, now that I think about it, it was pretty fucking telling that they were laying points on the road. So I wouldn't even know what to do about this one because at the same time, UT Arlington is coming off of 2 losses. It looks like they've had a nice run at home. They've won 3 in a row. The loss before that was in overtime. Played a lot of road games, this team. And then Cal Baptist, on the other hand, I guess they haven't really played. They have only been, I don't even know who the fuck SU is, but they haven't really played many road games since January 20th. So that's going.
And Cal Baptist is coming off of a huge win, their biggest win of the season against Grand Canyon, who's kind of like the powerhouse of the Western Athletic Conference. They were the March Madness representative last season. So maybe a letdown spot as well. A lot of factors at play. I think this one's just a stay away, though.
Yeah, so I was just going to say maybe that's why they have that respect now on the road. So I kind of see what you're saying. But, yep, all right, so stay away there. Let's go to shout out Tony Kornheiser. Binghamton, UMBC, Queens. Nice that they put University of Charlotte up here because it used to just be Queens University, and I thought that was in Queens, New York. It is not. Longwood, High Point, App State, Coastal. Anything between these four?
Nothing really that caught my eye in that slate. Coastal Carolina, App State would be a fun football game to wager on, but between these basketball teams, Coastal Carolina has just been absolute dog shit. They're on maybe like a 10, 11 game losing streak. They have a fun reverse split factor where they're the 3rd slowest team on offense and the 3rd fastest team on defense, which means they can't get baskets and they really struggle and have to operate in the half court. And at the same time, they're letting teams just run on them and, moving up and down the court, getting a lot of breakaway layups and shit like that. They're not a very good team. They're 331st in KenPom versus 133 for App State. So the line maybe seems a little bit close for such a big disparity in their rankings, but I don't really want to back this Coastal Carolina team with how bad they've been.
Yeah, I don't like betting on bad teams. I'm okay getting contrarian and getting a little nasty, but at the same time, I got burned by doing this 2 years ago with Central Connecticut State. They were fucking terrible, and every single time I'd be like, "Wow, this line looks a little short. They're only 4-point dogs. They should be 9-point dogs." And then they were like 6-20 ATS, and I think this late in the game, I'm just ready to accept bad teams are bad teams. And I will tell you a spot where I just stayed off of that. Not that I thought the team was bad, but I don't also at the same time I don't want to bet on bad teams. I don't want to fade good ones. I wanted to take Mississippi State so bad the other night against Florida. Like that line was so suspicious to me, and I did not fade Florida. I felt pretty good about that. So I'm trying to evolve and be a little bit smarter. So
it also feels like the books have caught on that we've caught on in recent years because the way it used to be was I felt like it was a lot easier back in the day where it was like, if the line looks super sketch, just take it. Just purely take it. You ride the sketch, you do it 100% of the time, and you'll be profitable no matter what. I mean, that's kind of where that unranked home favorite system came from, right? Where it's like, This line is super sketch. You see a team that has that small little number next to their name, and you can get them plus points. Clearly, they're the better team. The rankings say so. No, it's not. I mean, that's more of an extreme example of it. Sometimes the game's got to dig a little bit more deeper into it. But yeah, I mean, if you look at like Miami this year, Miami is one of the worst teams in the country. Their coach has already quit. The players have already quit on the season. And yet the books are still trying to throw out lines that make you say, this is such a sketchy spot for Miami. I want to take them. I want to take them. So I definitely think we got to be a little bit more, cautious moving forward. But generally speaking, if you see a sketch line, I still like taking it.
Yep. Okay. Well said. And good example with Miami, by the way, because every year there is a Miami. And I think they actually didn't they just come through, by the way, for what it's worth? Weren't they like 1.5
against Cuse? But Cuse is also a horrible team in and of themselves.
Right. So
that's just going to be a game that like now the next time they'll probably be in one more or two more sharp spots this year. And people are going to look back, hey, they covered against Cuse. They covered against Cuse.
Yep. Good point. Okay. Speaking of Elon, Old Dominion, Georgia State, Chicago State. I used to like betting on them a few years ago. Delaware and Towson. Anything up here?
Chicago State. I was actually I really liked them a couple games ago because they were 3-20, and then they were outright favorites. So in a spot like that, that's a prime sketch read. You see a team that should definitely not be favored. They came through.
Was this the game right here? M.E. What it says?
Mercyhurst? I believe so. Yeah, yes, I believe so.
Nice job.
But, Chicago State has the third worst ranked offense in the entire country, according to Ken Palm. Fairleigh Dickinson did win on the road. So maybe you could say like, hey, they won by 10 on the road. Now they're only 6-point favorites at home. Maybe that's like a little bit telling that Chicago State is playing a little bit better now than it was then. But again, it's like, it feels like we're just trying to force a spot and taking Chicago State, a 4-21 team, because there's just so few good games available.
Right.
But it definitely does feel like it's like, they should be maybe a little bit bigger dogs in the spot because they're so bad. It's not like Fairleigh Dickinson is any good either, but they certainly seem better than Chicago State. And with a 10-point road win now at home to only be 6-point favorites. I mean, home field advantage in football, we know is worth about 3 points on the line, right? Basketball, it's a little bit more volatile, but even so, like this should be more like a 12-point favorite, in my opinion, than a 6.
Covers has been wrong before, but Covers is showing that they beat Wagner at home.
Fairleigh Dickinson beat Wagner at home.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. I thought you were saying they won.
No, I'm saying they beat Chicago State at Chicago State.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yes. I was looking at their most recent game. Oh, I see down here. Right. That is absolutely what I would think. But Chicago State is terrible. And you're saying that even though it looks tempting, you're not doing it.
Correct.
Okay. Correct. I'm with you. Okay. Delaware Towson. We can move on from there. Oh my God. Wow. This is an incredible slate.
Yeah. We picked a good one to come on. It's all right. These are the fun ones to break down. As you said, this is what really makes you appreciate the good slates where it's like, we have, 5 ranked matchups and 30 power conference games to really sink our teeth into.
Right. Okay. Hofstra, Charleston, UNC Wilmington. Yeah. I feel like UNC Wilmington's kind of a respected basketball school. North Florida, North Alabama, anything between these?
North Florida is one of the fastest paced teams in the country. So they're always in shootouts. North Alabama has a pretty strong offense, all things considered. This could be a sneaky over spot.
Oh, and Florida's coming off of a game in which they scored the lowest amount of points since January 4th, just 70 points.
Yep.
And the game fell under, but it would look like they're a very good over team. 18-4-1. Total 165 is very high. Let's see. Are they? Ooh.
North Florida's kind of like Iowa of the mid-majors in that they play super fast. They fire a lot of threes. They're the second most voluminous 3-point shooting team in the country. And their defense is rat piss. So it's a perfect over combination. It's kind of like LSU in football 2 years ago with Jaden Daniels. That team was amazing to bet for overs because they could just score with anybody. Daniels, Neighbors, Brian Thomas, and their defense was just god awful.
Your comparisons are money, by the way. I don't know if anyone's ever given you credit for that, but I think you're 2 for 2. So also Alabama is wait. Oh, North Alabama. I was like, that can't be right. North Alabama is coming off of 2 unders. And the total in this game is 165. That's North Florida is no stranger to that, to seeing totals in the 160s. But Alabama has not seen a total at 165. It doesn't look like all year. So this is the highest total they've seen. And when North Alabama sees totals in the 160s, they've had 163.5 and they've had 163. Both have gone over. So
and just looking at the recent home scores, obviously, different competition, but Their most recent home scores 94, 88, 74, 88, 82, 86, 82, 100, 96, 87, 94. That's not even the recent. That's all their home totals.
Right. So their offense is much more efficient at home. And you're getting North Florida in a game potentially bouncing back where they just had one of their worst offensive performances in over a month. I like it.
I might have to jump on this one, actually.
I was just going to say, is this an official play for you?
No, I don't have it locked in, but now that we're digging more deep into it, I actually do like it more.
Okay. I like that. I think I'm going to play that. Okay. Mercyhurst. Speaking of that, Central Connecticut State. Look at that. These fuckers, 16-5 ATS. I said it a few weeks ago. I was like, what if we just fucking blindly bet Central Connecticut State? Because they screwed me so many times 2 years ago. And now all they're doing is covering. And then James Madison, Georgia Southern, Campbell, Northeastern, New Hampshire, Vermont. Anything here?
I don't mind Central Connecticut. They're playing super hot. They're on a 6-game winning streak. They also beat Mercyhurst by 12 on the road earlier this season. A lot of it due to an absolute defensive masterclass from Central Connecticut, but that's generally how they win games. They're a much better defensive team. They're really good at not fouling. So if you can't hit shots, it's going to be very tough to catch back up. Mercyhurst is a bottom 20 team at hitting twos, and they're the 8th best team at shooting free throws in the country. So it's kind of the opposite of what they want to do is what Central Connecticut is strong at. It's not necessarily a sketch line here as compared to the Chicago State game, right? They won by 12 on the road. They're 11.5-point favorites here. Makes sense to me. If you think it's going to be a beatdown spot, which it definitely could be, because Mercyhurst, even though they're 13-14, are a bottom 15 team overall in the country in the KenPom ranking. So a little bit of maybe of an overrated spot if you're just going off records, which I know with the mid majors is one of the only ways to do it. But I think this could be a Central Connecticut beatdown spot with how well they're playing recently.
I kind of like it. Yeah, I think I would consider playing Central Connecticut. The only thing, and I don't know if you do this too, for some reason, and I have a follower in here who always reminds me, it's like nothing that happens in a spread with another game has nothing to do with the other. And what I mean by that is I think I have hit on 2 or maybe 3 consecutive road dogs at this 11.5 number. And so when that happens, I think it was Penn State at Michigan State. I think it was Indiana just recently. Who the fuck did they just beat?
Outright dub at Michigan State, 11.5
That's
point
right.
dogs.
Yeah.
Or you could be talking about the cover against Purdue, where we also like 12-point dogs.
I don't think I took them then, but I've said to myself, I've taken 2 or 3 road dogs in a row at this number, and it's just like, it's just weird. So anytime I have a number like this, treat me well with a dog. Even though I like Central Connecticut State and I don't mind just blindly betting them to continue to cover spreads because they're ATS wagons and they're every year in every sport, there's just always those teams. Mm-hmm. I have these numbers sometimes and I'm like, I feel like I'm going to go against what I've just been doing. And it's like, it just gives me weird, bad juju, but maybe I'll just block that out and go ahead with it. Okay. Anything else up here, Snowman?
I don't think on those games we got a lot of these, kind of tight home spreads. And it's like, if you don't really have a opinion either way, I do have an opinion on this next block of 4 games though. That is one of my official plays in here.
West Georgia, EKU, Drexel, Hampton, St. Francis, PA, Stonehill, and Jacksonville State, Sam Houston State. That might be a good game.
I am in on Sam Houston State money line.
Wow. I was hoping you were going to talk about this one.
Got him at minus 115 last night. Sam Houston State on a 6-game losing streak. They've lost 9 out of the last 10. They lost to Jacksonville State earlier in the year. Jacksonville State on a 7-game winning streak. You have a 7-game winning streak versus an 8-game losing streak, and the 8-game losing streak is favored, and the line is already steamed up towards Sam Houston State overnight. I'm all in on this one. Even if you look from a basketball perspective, right? Jacksonville State, their defensive strategy allows a lot of threes, right? They are the seventh worst team at allowing points from behind the 3-point line. Sam Houston State is the 29th best team in the entire country at 37.6% from 3. In the first game against Jacksonville State, Sam Houston State only got fouled 7 times versus 18 for Jacksonville State. So Jacksonville State had way more opportunities at the free throw line. They won the free throw battle by 12 and only won the game by 8. So I think now that Sam Houston State is at home and should be the beneficiary of the home whistle, we're going to see a big flip in that free throw discrepancy. And I think this line is just so telling that when you have a team who's pretty bad, 8-16, who's lost 6 in a row, 7 in a row, and lost 9 out of the last 10 versus a 17-17, that's on a 7-game winning streak. I got to take it. I got to take Sam Houston State.
This is what I like, and this is why I like having smart people who know sports talk about this, because you present it to me in a gambling perspective that I can relate to, and then you talk to me about a basketball perspective, which I don't really know much about, because I would just simply look at this and what you just said. The team that's on the losing streak is favored and had already lost to this opponent against a team that's on a winning streak, and a big winning streak, not fucking 2 games. It's very suspicious. I would say this has got to be, we haven't even made our way through half the slate, but it's got to be one of the more suspicious lines out there today. And good on you for getting CLV. So you got it -115 or minus
WCLV. I was looking through the board last night and I was to prepare for the stream, and I'm like, there was another game that I locked in immediately. And then I was looking through it. I'm like, this one just really stood out. I'm like, this line I can already tell is going to be the steamed up play of the day. I feel like we're going to see this on Twitter. I will be tweeting this out as my play of the day as well. I feel like we're going to be a lot of people on Sam Houston State, but it's got to be the play.
You got to get ahead. You should have already fucking tweeted it, because there's going to be 17 Rugrats that tweet it now while we're on this space. And then you're going to be after that. You need to set the trend. Why not? No, in all seriousness, why not? Because that was happening to me a couple years ago. I would love the unranked favorite, and then I would open up Twitter at 10 a.m. I'd see 15 people would be on that thing, and I would be like, what the fuck? If you put Sam Houston State in last night, I feel like you should tweet it when you do it. No?
I probably should have. I kind of wanted to save it for the stream, get people to watch the stream first, say the takes, and then we tweet it out to the public.
That's true. But, that's actually true. Yeah. Okay. So that's a good one. I like that. I'll probably be in on that as well. I'm okay getting, if I like a bet, whether it's 115, 130, I'll still play it. If it was up to like 165, I'd say, fuck it, I'll just pass. Okay.
I even think if you can find -1 or -1.5, that's okay too.
Take that. Yeah.
A little bit of juice. -130 is fine. I don't really like playing anything higher than -140. That's kind of like my limit. If it's anything above that, I'm going to try to find some sort of juice reducer. I can't tell you how many times a bet has lost due to the juice reducer, but I still fall for it.
Yeah. Well, I've always, I shouldn't say I've always, I have been okay to lay the juice if it's less than 3, and at 2.5, that's a number that terrifies me. And I know it's always like, oh, what are the chances? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, even if I get it, like, even if you show me the numbers and you show me the data, and over time you are fine to play the spread as opposed to the money line, that one time out of 100 just eats me up from losing it. And it just happened the other day. I was on the right side of it, but I had Purdue +2.5.
I was about to bitch because I had Michigan -2. So there you go. I pushed when I should have just taken the money line.
See, I can live with a push. That's not going to eat me up. But if I had Michigan -2.5, it's going to bother me fucking 17 days later. And
I'm okay with it. It's a weird mental thing. It's like when it was supposed to be a loss and I get a push, I'm fine with it. Like, I got Indiana +3 against Michigan the other day when we hit that full court shot to cut it to 3. It had moved to 3.5 by game time. So a lot of people got 3.5 and 1. I pushed. I'm like, listen, I'll take that as a win, right? I thought this was a loss. But when Michigan was winning that game, they missed those 2 free throws at the very end. I'm like, oh, it just stings to get the push instead of the cover when I could have had the money line.
Yep. Okay. All right. Let's keep moving. Jacksonville Central, Arkansas, Texas State, UL Monroe, Kennesaw, Florida Gulf Coast used to be a fun team, and Austin, PA. Anything here?
I don't mind Louisiana Tech as like a parlay piece. I've been doing very well on these kind of like money line parlays, the bankroll builders. I believe I've hit like 11 out of 13 in a row, like very high.
2 or 3 legs?
Mostly 3 legs. Of course, the one that I tweeted out in that stretch was one of the 2 losers, but that's just always what happens. I'm looking at Louisiana Tech as a money line piece here. Kennesaw State is a pretty popular team so far in mid-major play. They've definitely been on the rise. So to see Louisiana Tech here, which is a team that doesn't really get a lot of support, still be favorites at home, I think is pretty telling. They've won 4 out of the last 5. Kennesaw State also won the first matchup only by 2 at home. So Louisiana Tech played them pretty close. I think they're out for revenge, playing decent basketball right now. I really like their center, Daniel Baccio. I think he's a beast. I think he's a guy that, like, probably not going to make the NBA, but could be a very, very, strong player in the tournament if they're not going to make it, but like, he would be one of those guys that, like, people surprise people and then, gets drafted to like the G League and flames out and goes to the Euro leagues and shit. But he's a beast of a player. Kennesaw State is not necessarily the tallest team in the inside. So I think it's a nice matchup for Baccio. I think Louisiana Tech can get it done on the money line. I'll be looking to pair them with somebody else or 2 others.
What I like about spots like these, Snowman, I don't know if you have any opinion on this. I like fading a college team typically in the first half if it's their first road game in a while. And it
Interesting.
looks like just correct me if I'm wrong. You're on the Louisiana Tech money line, right? As a parlay piece. Okay. So I would like this because I'm looking at Kennesaw State. Their last road game was January 25th. So they have played 4 home games since. They've been nice and comfy. In all those games, they were fairly competitive. They won 2, they lost 2, but one of the losses was by 1 point against Middle Tennessee. Their last road game, they won they lost, but they covered. Before that, they won outright and covered. They've been fairly okay. I think ATS Kennesaw 13-8. La Tech is too. But I want to fade them for their first road game in 2 weeks.
Kennesaw State, even if they're good against the spread, is also 2-5 overall on the road on the money.
Yeah.
Line.
And then so I guess that's something else I was going to point at. I like that the last home game La Tech had, they didn't cover.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. So give me La Tech to come out here. They played 2 games on the road. The first one, they got their ass kicked to Liberty. They lost by 24 to 7.5 point dogs. Then they bounced back. They were 3.5 point favorites at FIU. They won by 11. I like that. Come home, play against a team that already beat you. I think La Tech first half. I'm getting cute. Doesn't always work, but I'm going to try to get them to come out and hopefully Kennesaw State with their first road game in a little while is a little bit sluggish. So I'll probably be on that with
and
you.
looking at this Louisiana Tech schedule, this Liberty example is a great example of the, kind of on that second game where the home and road team split, right? Louisiana Tech outright beat Liberty at home. So, Liberty's looking out for revenge. That at home, they're going to have a big advantage. They win by 24, easily cover in that second spot.
So would you take first half of a game? Either is fine. I'm just telling you what I'm doing personally. It doesn't always work. I like doing first halves. I like getting in or getting out because in college basketball, I absolutely hate the last 2.5 minutes with the fouling. So I try to avoid that anytime I can. However, I don't mind Snowman's approach either. That 5.5 spread is just so tough sometimes. So I would probably go his route more so than mine if you have another parlay piece for it. But okay, good stuff there. I'm going to be on La Tech first half.
I like first halves with big spreads because a lot of times in college basketball, there's just a massive talent differential in the teams. In the pros, anybody can beat anybody. And that's why I think Stakes Dog of the Day is so successful because it's way easier to find a dog winner in the pros, in my opinion. I remember actually, excuse me, my favorite little stretch I had betting in the NBA was, 5 or 6 years ago when the Timberwolves had Towns and Wiggins, and they were both out. And they were getting like no respect on the line. They were like 19, 20-point dogs in every single game. And I just kept taking them on plus points because I'm like, yeah, okay, they're missing these 2 guys who I think are, soft and overrated at the time anyways. But, guys like Jared Culver and who else? Maybe like Gorgie Dang came in, and it's like they were just covering every single game. And, that's because those guys, like Jared Culver was an amazing player in college.
Yeah.
Right. Even though he's not good in the NBA, even though Gorgie Dang is not good in the NBA, these guys are like, all American level players. So in college, like you have these guys who are going to make it to the NBA, and they're playing against guys who are going to be insurance salesmen and rental car salesmen. And there's just, if you're in that spot where you're just a way better, then the talent is probably going to win out pretty quickly and you get out to a big lead. And then what invariably happens is, right, you're up 25 points, 30 points. The coach takes the starters out with 8 minutes to go to get the backups in, takes the backups out to get the scrubs and the walk-ons and the seniors in, and then you blow the spread at the very end of the game. So I definitely love first half bets, especially early in the year on those big conference teams that you expect just to absolutely massacre.
Couldn't agree more. And I think for the most part, the people who follow my stream know I'm a big first half, big spread guy. Also, double digit, sure. I'll even do it if it's a 9.5 or 9. I did it most recently with Dayton. They were like 9-point favorites at home against somebody. They did not win the first half, and they did not even cover the full game. I've also, Snowman, I started to get hip to this. March Madness, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I was doing first halves, and then if the underdog would overperform in that first half, I would double down, essentially martingale, on the second half. Yep. And I was finding a lot of success. And I was also doing it with totals where it's like, all right, I like the first half over 74.5. And then, it was 32-30. Well, it's like, all right, the offense is going to wake up. I'm going to, if I did 1 unit on the first and lost, I'm doing 2 units on second. I was having a lot of success to that. And So I'm a big first half player, but I agree with you in the
I
sense
think that's
that
the best way to live bet for sure as well, is like you got to almost kind of treat it like you're buying into the stock market. So if you're looking at a stock and you say like, let's take like Amazon, for example, and you're like, I really want to buy it if it hits, 130 and the stock's at 133. Well, then once it hits, you just got to, buy in. Same thing with basketball or, whatever sport. You have to have a thesis where it's like, I think this team is going to win. And if you have a good buy low opportunity, that's your time to get in, and you got to be pretty quick about it. Generally speaking, right? Like when we talk about regression in betting, it's more of a long-term focus, but it really does play out in individual games where if you see a team start off hot, like let's say they go 5-7 to start from 3 and they're a 35% 3-point shooting team, by the end of the game, they're probably going to be close to 35%. So, a lot of misses are coming. It's a great time to get in on the under or to fade them.
Yeah. The other day, Iowa State was playing TCU, and I don't know if you watched Behind the Lines with Javon and Krabs, but Javon was mentioning when
Try to check it out. I'm a big fan of their stuff.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Javon, by the way. I saw on Twitter it's his birthday.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Happy birthday, Javon. Sometimes he's tuning in or not. But anyways, he's a TCU guy, and he mentioned that TCU was going to beat West Virginia and then get their ass kicked against Iowa State. So I remembered this, and I was working that day, and I forget what happened, but I think I was like, I was in a cab or something. I was going from one appointment to the other, and I just pulled out my phone just to get a quick glance at like the scores and everything. I already had like some action, but I wasn't involved with that game. And I saw like to start, I think Iowa State was up like 18-15 or something. And like the first like 10 minutes. And I didn't do it, but I texted Steak because I knew Steak was hanging out and gambling. I was like, hey, by the way, Javon mentioned that Iowa State should beat the shit out of TCU in this game. Now would probably be a good time to live bet that or wait till halftime. And then I think after that, they went on like a 22-4 run and then never looked back. So it is one of those things. I'm okay with it. Again, it's like kind of getting cute, but if you like a double digit favorite, almost waiting for those first 10 minutes to see like maybe they come out slow. They kind of need a wake up call. They get that timeout and then bam, that's when I'll fucking hammer it. All right, let's keep pushing through. It's 11:39. By the way, I'm going to post your or comment your Twitter. Make sure to go follow Snowman Sports on Twitter. You can click that link right there to go to his profile. It's 11:39. Snowman, I got probably another solid 10 minutes. So let's feel free to keep going through the board, and then please let me know if you have any other plays. Marshall, South Alabama, Kansas City, South Dakota, Seattle. Used to like betting on them.
They used to be a wagon.
They used to be, right? And then Grand Canyon, Tarleton State. Anything here?
So Grand Canyon is interesting, right? They're not necessarily like better than last year, but they're still one of the more powerhouse mid-major teams. And you get them coming off of an outright loss, generally speaking, when you can get the best teams coming off a loss in college sports, I do it. I saw there was a lot of talk a couple days ago about Vandy against Auburn. And I'm like, hey, listen, Auburn's the best team in the country. How many times do you get to bet them coming off a loss? I was in on Auburn for sure. I think it's a similar situation with Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon's got a great offense. They got a legit head coach in Bryce Drew, brother of Baylor head coach Scott Drew. And coming off an outright loss to Cal Baptist, now they're on the road, yes, to Tarleton State, but Tarleton State is a really bad defensive team, like really bad defensively. They're the second fastest paced team in the country, so Grand Canyon can get out and run. That's exactly what they want to do. I can see there being a lot of foul trouble for Tarleton State, having to go against superior offense, guys like Tyon Grant Foster and Jacoby Coles, who maybe like Grant Foster could legitimately make the NBA. There's a small chance of that. He's a 5-star recruit who initially committed to Kansas before transferring down to Grand Canyon. But he's a stud player. He played really, really well in that game against Alabama last year in March Madness. And if Tarleton State, they're at home, I do expect this to be the game that the fans get most up for in the season. If Tarleton State fans really can't get up for basketball. But I just think that this is a nice spot to get back on Grand Canyon. They'll probably also be in that money line parlay with Louisiana Tech. They're heavily juiced, sure, but I think they take care of business in this one easily.
I like where your head's at. And you know what? On the note of what I was just saying, I would maybe see, since it's they are coming off a loss, back-to-back road game, although it's been quite a few days in between. Tarleton, first home game since February 1st. You said the crowd's going to get up for it. I would imagine the team might get up for it. This would be, if I'm just hanging out and like monitoring a game, I would watch this now that you brought it to my attention and see if it's like a tight game for the first 10, 12 minutes. And then, and kind of like in that Auburn game that you referenced, which great job, by the way, halftime, it was 36-34, I believe.
Right.
What happened late? The fucking double-digit favorite runs away with it, and the dog can't keep up. So I might just keep an eye on this one and see if it's close, and then I'll pull away, or I'll bet on Grand Canyon and maybe pull away.
Like if this were a bigger conference game and I knew Tarleton State had a better crowd that could really impact the game, I would be pretty in on Tarleton State getting 11 points here. I just don't think they're going to be able to affect the game as much as even some other of the smaller schools.
Right. Okay. Tennessee Tech, Little Rock. Love me a Little Rock, Arkansas. Stetson. Don't mind them either. Lipscomb, Tennessee Martin, SIU, Moorhead, Lindenwood. You got anything?
No, nothing on these.
Okay, we can keep moving. Oh, well, here's the only matchup of teams that I think your average person would recognize.
Correct. This will definitely be the most bet game of the day and the most watched game of the day. And frankly, it's really the only one that you need to pay attention to if you care about March Madness.
Well, the one thing I do recall about Nebraska is they right here against Illinois. I thought the Nebraska Cornhuskers losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games in a row, coming home after that 30-point loss against Wisconsin, being that 3.5, 4-point home dogs against Illinois. I thought that was a trap. And it was definitely the contrarian side, and it was definitely the right side. I had Illinois in that game. Never deserved to win, even though they pulled back and forced it to overtime. I did watch a little bit of that. Since then, looks like a little bit of a resurgence for Nebraska. They go on the road to Oregon, win outright as a 7-point dog, beat the fuck out of Washington, 1.5-point favorites, beat them by 14. Then they come back, 2.5-point favorites, beat Ohio State by 8. So I would ask you, Snowman, do you think, Maryland, on the other hand, is pretty good. They're 18-6 and they're rolling as well. But do you think the Nebraska stock is maybe a little too high? Because you look at some of these spreads, I mean, I know being favored against Washington and Ohio State is one thing, but isn't Maryland a better team than all these opponents?
For sure. Maryland is definitely better than Ohio State and Washington. I think Washington is probably the worst team in the Big Ten. So I'm not too surprised they're favored against them. But the thing is, Nebraska, the last few years at home have been an absolute force. Pinnacle Bank Arena has been very, very difficult for Big Ten teams to come in and win on the road. This is the one game we talk about with the home court advantage actually affecting things, and Nebraska certainly has done so. On the flip side, Maryland over the last few years, really bad on the road. These two and Northwestern are the most extreme examples in the Big Ten over the last few seasons of home road splits. Northwestern, it's like you go in a Welsh Shrine Arena and people forget how to play basketball. Maryland has had some recent success on the road, but I think some of it is a little bit flawed, right? They beat Illinois on the road, but that was when Illinois was missing Ivisic and they just had no paint presence on Illinois. And then they came in and beat Indiana, my school, where Indiana choked that game away and then had a horrific last second inbounds play that they didn't even get a shot off on. So a couple back-to-back road wins that I don't necessarily think were deserved. And those are their only 2 road wins on the season. They then continued and choked that game to Ohio State on the road where they were up 15 plus points in that game. So I definitely like Nebraska in this game for multiple reasons. First of all, great home team versus a bad road team, I'm in on. Second of all, Nebraska has done amazing this year against teams that feature centers. Their main defensive strategy has been to deny the entry pass. When they played Creighton this year on the road, Kalkbrenner did not end up with a single logged shot from 2. Whenever he got the ball, which was very, very rare, they would just basically foul him. He had 1 total combined shot attempt in the game. It was a 3-point attempt. He played 39 minutes. This is one of the, I believe, number 1 in the country in shot completion percentage. He shoots like almost 70% from the field. Then they played Indiana, and they completely denied Omar Ballo the ball. They beat us at home by 20 points in that game. And, the Rutgers game and USC games kind of notwithstanding are their only 2 home losses. That was during a really bad stretch. And those 2 teams don't really feature centers, right? Rutgers has the 2 main guards in Harper and Bailey's a wing, but still it's not like they're posting up. And USC doesn't really do that either. They play pretty fast and feature the guards and shoot a lot of threes. So now stylistically, it's a matchup where if Nebraska continue to do a good job denying the paint, that's all Maryland wants to do is feed Derek Queen and feed Julian Reese in the paint. So I think you got a couple good matchups there for Nebraska. I think you have a nice home road split for Nebraska. And then finally, you have Maryland as the 25th ranked team in the country opening up as an outright dog against Nebraska. We talked about that system a little bit earlier. I know the system hasn't been as strong in recent years since it got exposed. Fun fact, that's actually how I even got my start in this biz was via those spots. I was on them. I don't want to say before anybody else, but I identified early on because hey, I kept taking these road teams and losing. So at a certain point, 6-7 years ago, I'm like, fuck it. I'm just switching and taking all these gross plays And that was where I continued to win. And that's where I first made my name from it. I nicknamed it the Snowman Special. Didn't really catch on, but I'm going to continue to play these spots until they prove otherwise. I think there's a lot of factors here pointing towards Nebraska, and I'm in on them on the money line.
Okay, so I'm going to go against you a little bit here. I'm not going to take Maryland to win the game. But I think I like something, and I want you to hear me out. I am looking at Maryland, and a great sell job, by the way. I'm looking at Maryland as a dog throughout the season. They have not been an underdog many times, and I know you brought up the home and away, which is entirely different, but they were 1.5-point dogs on the road last game against Ohio State. 1.5, they lost by 3. Before that, they were 6.5-point dogs. They won outright at Illinois by 21. Then you go back.
That Illinois game, you have to. That's an outlier game. You can't factor that into your capping in the future. Illinois, that was their first game when their center Ivicic got ruled out with mono. They weren't prepared for it, and again, Maryland just absolutely feasted in the paint in that game. I think that's kind of like an outlier spot that you can't really be like saying like, well, they're such this great team because they smacked Illinois on the road by 20. Like, yes, they did, and I guess that does show their upside at their peak, but.
Fair enough. I won't put too much stock in it, but anytime Maryland's an underdog, they've been feisty. I guess that's what I'm getting at. So moving down a little bit more at Oregon, 4.5-point dogs. They lost, but only by 4 points. 4.5-point dogs at Purdue, which I feel like is not an easy place to play. They did not cover, but they only lost by 5, 83-78. And then that's about it. So Maryland as an
Marquette
underdog.
Also at home. I mean, all their losses this year, the biggest loss this year was by 6 points. So every single game competitive. They've been feisty in every single game. But I think it's going to come down to the wire as well. I'm just sticking with Nebraska on the home side.
But you know what I like? I like Maryland first half. If I look at them when they do come out on the road, and I'm not necessarily fading Nebraska. Like, I'm okay with teams that go through slumps and then they have that get right game and they just continue to go. But I don't mind a little, not a fat, happy, and complacent, because I don't think a Nebraska team can do that, right? What are they, 16-8? I think they're gonna
That's pretty good for Nebraska, though. That's
pretty good exactly. For Nebraska. It is good for Nebraska. I'm not saying regression's coming, but if I'm looking at Maryland in their last 4 road games, the one common denominator at Ohio State, they won the first half 41-32. At Indiana, they won 38-37. In Illinois, we'll take that as an outlier game, but they do come out.
They still won the first half in that game. It still counts.
They come out swinging in the first half. So I think I might take Maryland first half, and that's it. So I have no interest in getting involved with them trying to win the actual game, because I do respect Nebraska and what they're capable of doing. And also I have nowhere near the ball knowledge in terms of the X's and O's, which I think you did a great job breaking down. Okay. Few more games. Actually, Snowman, let me ask you this. Do you have anything else on your card?
Nebraska, Sam Houston State. Those are the 2 I got locked in. I'm liking this North Florida over. I'm still crafting the money line parlay of the day. It's likely to include Grand Canyon and Louisiana Tech. Just got to find the third piece to pair them with.
Okay, awesome.
Maybe we'll find them right here. Sure.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the rest of the matchups to see if there was anything that was really, really worth talking about. Doesn't look like anything is jumping out at me except maybe Memphis on the road against South Florida. Do you think there's anything?
Yeah, we can talk about that game. That one is an interesting spot as well. This line has actually moved towards South Florida. When I saw it last night, it was 8.5. Now I'm seeing 7.5. Memphis is, similar to Grand Canyon. This is the dominant powerhouse in the American Athletic Conference. They are 20-4, 10-1 in conference, and very likely to be the conference representative in March Madness. So I think when they come to town, you're going to see every team kind of give them their best shot. They lost outright on the road to Temple. They only beat Charlotte, who's a horrible team, by 9 on the road. They beat Tulane by 12. That was a nice win for them, where Tulane really played poorly. Memphis, we know, is a fast-paced offensive team. They only scored 68 points in that road game against Tulane. They also scored 68 points against North Texas, who's the second slowest team in the country. So that makes a lot more sense because North Texas slows the game down. Tulane is willing to kind of play at whatever pace. So it was definitely a worse performance from Memphis, offensively speaking, in that game, even though that was their best road performance. And then they only beat Rice on the road by 3. So I think a lot of teams are trying to give them their best shot. South Florida is, it's a tough season for them. Their coach died right before the season started, if you remember that. And this is a team that was really, really good last year. They were one of the best teams to bet on in the AAC. They were, I think, maybe like a 6-loss team last season. And it just hasn't been as successful because, they just haven't been dealing with so much. They had a really nice win at home against Temple a couple games ago in double overtime. I was on them in that spot. They then lost at home to Wichita State when they were decent favorites. But it seems to be a team that has been playing better at home, as all college teams do. If they can get up for this game, which I expect they will, and I expect the fans will, I think that they're a decent spot at the plus points. I don't love that you're getting worse value now, but the fact that the line's steaming towards them, if it depends on how you want to chase steam, view line movement and all that. I won't be on Memphis on the money line parlay. I'm worried about the outright upset. I just don't know if I can get to the window on South Florida.
Okay. Very well said. Would you consider, I'm just looking at the rest of the games here. Would you consider potentially, well, if you're going to pair a money line with a 5-point favorite, do you look for a particular number in mind? Do you look for
I'm just trying to get to around even odds on these.
Around even. Okay.
I'm just trying to get to around even odds. If we can get a little bit plus, all the better. But even if it's like minus 110, that's okay with me. Yeah, I view these as more like straight bets, right? Yeah. And yes, like you have to get 3 wins, but when you put yourself in 3, it's kind of like on those spaces. I know you and Steak were talking about the spaces, and when it's not as drama focused, you have a lot of these guys talking about EV and probabilities and shit like that. And it's like, if you can find 3 spots that are likely to hit at like a 70% plus rate and pair them together, your odds are still about even. And honestly speaking, like as a longtime bettor, I prefer to bet these kind of, no upset spots and just, hope you cross your fingers and make sure that everything goes well. And so far lately it has.
Yeah, I don't blame you one bit. Would you consider Gonzaga if you're going to do 3 legs, Gonzaga money line or no?
I was actually looking at Gonzaga on the spread. I think they're too big of favorites to put into any sort of money line parlay. I mean, they're minus 1,100. I don't really know how much that's cutting the juice.
Right.
But I think this is another interesting spot because San Francisco is a pretty decent team, right? Like they're 20-6 and they have some good wins on the season. They've beaten Santa Clara, they've beaten Oregon State, they've beaten St. Mary's. St. Mary's is the 21st ranked team in KenPom. And now they're laying 14 to the Zags, who, while the Zags are still good, I think that most people don't think they're as good as they necessarily have been in recent years. Pretty much all of their big matchups they've lost. They beat Baylor in the first game of the season, sure. They beat Arizona State, San Diego State in the first 4 games. But after that, they lost to West Virginia, they lost to Kentucky, they lost to UConn, they lost to UCLA, they lost to Oregon State, they lost to Santa Clara, they lost to St. Mary's. They still play St. Mary's and Santa Clara again. But this hasn't necessarily been a team that, you look at, it's like, oh, they're a dominant force out on the West Coast beating up on all of these smaller programs. They're still ranked 11th overall on KenPom, which is crazy to me. I don't view them anywhere near as high, with the 7th best offense. But San Francisco, again, they're the 65th best team in the rankings. They have some good wins. It feels like this is a lot of points for how Gonzaga is playing, which would lead me to believe this could be a Zaga blowout spot.
Kind of into it.
Maybe this is a Zaga first half line, right? If they just got out at home super fast.
This could be the double-digit favorite first half play. I like it. Snowman, good shit. This was awesome. I would love to do it again, either for the regular season or at some point conference play or March Madness. Just a quick recap. You are Nebraska money line and you are on the over in North Florida.
Sam Houston State money line as well.
Oh, yep. Yes. Sam Houston State money line. You are going La Tech money line and you're looking for a dance partner or 2 dance partners for a bankroll builder. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Awesome.
Let me see what those lines be right now. If I put in Louisiana Tech and Grand Canyon.
And thank you for the new follows, by the way. Brosy, 3X Brett, Ninja, Beavers. Make sure you follow Snowman Sports as well. I put the link in the chat, and we gave his channel a shout out as well.
Yeah, those 2 are minus 180. So if you put Gonzaga with it, it's only minus 143. I'm trying to get a little bit lower, but that's the plan. And of course, I thank you for having me on. It was amazing to be on. I'm willing to come on whenever you want me to, talking college hoops, talking really anything. NFL draft. I'm a big NFL draft guy and draft gambling. I tend to be pretty humble when it comes to this space, but I will step up and say I am confident that I'm one of the better draft gamblers out there.
I'm going to fucking put you to the test, Snowman, because the NFL draft is my favorite thing to gamble on, and it is where I've made 3 of the largest bets of my life. And I have failed to lose any of that. I've lost plenty of draft bets. Let's just be very, very clear. But yes, love it. You're the man. Thank you. Keep up the great work. We'll be tuning in, and we'll certainly chat in the near future.
Absolutely. Take care.
All right. Take it easy,
all your bets today. Chat. Have a good one.
Likewise. W Snowman Sports, by the way. Great guy to be on here. Budman, would you stop asking about golf talk? We talked about fucking golf yesterday. I saw you 15 times in the chat. Thank you, mid-major. He's trying to come up here and give some love to college basketball today. These are the dark days, bro. They're the dark days. Thank you, Snowman. Help me out a fuck ton going over this slate. I don't know that there is anybody that could have probably, well, mid-major could give him some competition, but that could have broken down these games any better than what I just heard Snowman do. So W Snowman, that was excellent. I say we just tell Beeves since he is the best gambler on Twitter. Oh God, is this Beeves fucking brother? You laughed in my face. Did I do that? If I did that, I am very sorry. He's way smarter than me. W what's the word I'm looking for? Modesty, humbleness, humble. No, I don't know. I'm not good with words. W Chewy Thin Ice, y'all could be best buddies with a collab. Very funny. That was a W. Thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. I thought he was great. And I know, listen, it's an ugly slate. It's a tough slate, but again, how can you do any better than breaking down the board and going through it like that? So Snowman, thank you very much. All right, guys, I got to run. I got some shit to do today. Tomorrow, heading down to Miami. There's going to be no stream tomorrow, unfortunately. We're heading down to Miami. I got a wedding to go to, so I will chat with you guys next week. I don't even know if I'm going to be on Monday. It's a holiday. We'll touch base. Get in the Discord. Steak, can you please tweet the Discord again? Every time Steak tweets a Discord link, we get 200 fucking people in there. Are they bots? Are they real? Hopefully they're real. Welcome to the Discord. Welcome all new people. Don't forget, subscribe to the newsletter. There is no net newsletter this week. We will have one for MLB futures, NFL draft. Maybe we'll feature a bet from Snowman. That would be awesome. He does know ball. Go to the website, thedegenerateweekly.com. Subscribe to the newsletter. You can do so for free. Thank you to everybody who pays and pledges their support. We really appreciate that. And also don't forget, get yourself a fucking hoodie. Hoodie and crew neck or a beanie while you're at it. Also, the gambling coffee mugs are on there. Aloha, hit him with a shot, baby. Hit him with a merch. There we go. Bang. Also, I have to say this. I do owe 2 more people giveaways, and then I think I have to take it easy on the giveaways. I'm just going to tell you right now. There is somebody, this is a true story. I literally just followed up with the merch guy. Great people over there, by the way. And shout out everybody who's gotten the merch. It sounds like everybody's very happy with it. I'm thrilled to hear because I think the quality is great. Somebody won a giveaway and they live in Wyoming. Okay. I'm not naming names, which is fine. Wyoming seems like a great place. I get the invoice for shipping and it's $40. I was like, they were like, do you approve to, I got to pay for it. You pay for the shipping when you do a hoodie giveaway. All right. You pay for the sweater to be made. You pay for all this shit. I pay for a hoodie giveaway. I go, is that for more than one giveaway? Or is that just one giveaway? Because he had the name and the address on there. $40. And he goes, no, that's UPS ground or whatever. I guess because of where it was located, how much the fucking thing weighed. I'm like, how much could it weigh? It's a hoodie. Wherever this guy lives in Wyoming, it must be a very difficult place to get to. Ground, up the mountain, over the river, and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. I'm going to have to refrain. Okay. You can't stay in business paying $40 for shipping, giving away free merch. That's just not how you stay in business. So I'm going to have to refrain. Okay. There's going to have to be caveats. You can't live in Wyoming or maybe even Alaska for that matter to get free hoodies. All right. I don't know. I forget who it was. I should actually DM them to tell them how funny it is. Obviously, we've connected at some point. So, all right. I will check you guys later. Have a great day. Good luck on all your bets. I'm going to send you over. I think Steak is going on Owner's Box, Sports. Yep. There we go. Raid. Join the raid. Thank you guys for the support. Get yourself a fucking hoodie. I'm going to give away 2 a little bit later. One's Steak and one's me. Good luck on all your bets. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your Friday. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.